What's going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Round Review. First of the bye weeks is done, round 12. I thought I was going okay. Turns out I didn't do as well as what I thought I was going. But I got an 1884, which put me a round rank of 12,598, as you can see there. Overall rank 8408. That puts me up 517 spots from where I was last week. So positive, I moved up. Negative is the fact that I thought this would be a week where I'd be able to make a jump. I thought having 21, thought a few people might be scraping to 18, so I thought maybe I could take advantage of that. But before the last game, I thought I was, which I'll mention those couple of guys when I get to my negatives. But yeah, hopefully we're in a good spot with our buy structure. Hopefully we can move forward in rounds 13, 14, 15. Not as much this week, because a lot of people are going to have good teams, like it's best 18, so it pretty much comes down to who can score the most. But well, that's what happens every week. But yeah, hopefully we can make our move in the back two buys. But +3, -3. +3's got to go to Tim English on debut. I wasn't able to watch this game. I was watching the Crows game at the same time, but I was just glad to finally have English in my side. Would have been good if I could put the VC on him, but hey, I'm just glad I brought him in. And also shout out to Tim Taranto as well as my captain, 130 bringing it home. I was very happy with that. But yeah, my trades went pretty well this week, which I'll probably recap them just before we go through all the players well. But my -3, it's got to go to the Rouge duo. So last week I did the Gold Coast duo, the Rat Pasta. This week it's the Sheasbull, Sheasel and Zeeble. 64 for Sheasel, 73 for Zeeble. Unfortunately, there were poor scores, and they are both potentially on the chopping block this week, because this week round 15 bye is obviously a few weeks away, but my team has probably got one or too many premiums on that bye, so I've got to probably move one or two, and Sheasel and Zeeble are probably two of the ones I'm willing to cull, and this is the week, the easy bye. I could almost just move one of them on this week, and that's fine. So we'll get to those in trades, but they are potentially being moved on. But we'll get stuck in all the players from this weekend. But my trades went pretty well. I was pretty happy with my trades. I might start doing this, actually, just putting what my trades were from the last week in before. My trades this week, obviously the Sean Darcy injury. So I went him straight up to Tim English. I didn't want to muck around with the rucks. I like just locking in my two rucks. So I thought, yeah, I'll go get English, even though he's got the round 15 bye. But then in doing that, I was able to go Will Ashcroft down to Darcy Cameron. I was actually able to make money out of that, which was great. And he will cover English in round 15, because obviously he's got ruck forward status. He's got the buy in round 14. And then my other trade was just doing a rookie shuffle. Was just Fiorini down to Atkins to fund the Darcy move. Darcy up to English move, and then gave me about 123k, I think it was, in the bank for this week. So a little bit of money to play with, which is nice. So they were my moves, and really, they obviously worked out really well. Obviously, 158 from English, 109 from Cameron, and Warlaw 62, but he went up obviously a bit of money. He was the rookie to get last week, so I'm pretty happy with trades last week. It was just the other place in my team that didn't quite come to the party. But let's go through the players. So Dacos 114. We all know Nick Dacos, the gun. 3 goals. I think he had mid-20 disposals, but it's just his impact on the game obviously was substantial. Actually, no, sorry, he had 30 disposals. So I thought he had a bit less. Yeah, it was just a 1 mark, 3 tags, but it's the 3 goals that pushed it up. 114, obviously very happy. 3 scores now over 110 his last 3 games, in his last 4, sorry. So that's good. He's obviously responded after a bit of a lean month here, and then obviously responded with it here. So yeah, looking the goods. We know Nick Dacos to be a top 6 defender, so he's just going along very nicely. Jack Zeb was disappointing with 73. He saved it late as well. He was on, I don't even know what he was on at 3/4 time. I think he had like 35 points in the last quarter. So what's that, 48? I think he's on 48 points 3/4 time. So yeah, saved it. Or 40, no, yeah, 48. I got it right. Yeah, he's on chopping block potentially just because of how much he is worth. And his break even's quite high now, 138. The fixture's not too bad, Giants, but is it Blundstone Arena? I'm just a bit worried that, because really, if you take out that 168 score against St Kilda and just that real weird game, he's had the 400s. They were a lot like low hundreds, and he's got a lot of these 90s and 80s. So it's not like he's probably he was overinflated with his price being at 880, and I just feel if he drops another 70. or 80 this week, especially with a hole in the team. It's just he's not scoring well enough. He's going to keep dropping, and I can actually get value for him. Like if I want to go and get an Andrew Brayshaw this week, it's only costing me about 117k or so. Whereas if I wait another week or two, Brayshaw's going to go up, Zeebel's coming down, and I'm losing money there. So that's just an option I'm considering. But yeah, Lockie Whitfield, he saved his score late in last quarter, but 94 obviously I'll take. It's obviously a good score. I'm happy enough with that, considering he was getting a bit of a tag by Liam Baker. So does he stay in my team for the year? Potentially. He's been pretty solid since Cummings been out of the side. Cummings should be back, I think, post-bye, but he's been very good. Like that 48, he was on track for about an 80 there. He hasn't gone under 80 all year. Obviously, he's only had the one score over 110, so he hasn't had a huge ceiling this year, but he's still done well. So, and he's still got a couple of good matchups to come. So, if anything, odd movement is buy if I'm going to move him. But at this stage, he's safe there for the time being. Tom Stewart 115. Obviously, he's safe there. Back-to-back scores 121 and 115. He's just getting it done, which is great. He's got the bye this week, so handy to have him in the side, and he'll be very useful in the last two buys and going forward. So very happy to have Stewart. Lockie Ash 97. Very happy to see him bounce back after he got a 64 against St Kilda in that really odd game. Back-to-back 90s, 95, 97. He had 33 touches. I was surprised he only got 97 with 33 touches, because if you look here, he had 32 touches here, but he got a 120. But obviously he had those marks, whereas this game he didn't have the marks. So hopefully he can get a couple more marks in the future games. As I said, North Melbourne Frown next to, I think, are good matchups. Should put up some good scores, and then I'll move him likely at his bye. Josh Weddle, 80. Very, very happy with him. Had a 60-point second half as well, which is very, very impressive. He looked good as well. Took a couple of nice marks in the second half. And nice cash gen up to 481. Break him to 24. He'll be over 500 next week. Well, more than likely anyway. And it'll probably depend how he scores this week. If he goes another 70 plus, I'll probably keep him and maybe trade him post-buy. But again, he's an option to trade next week. So we'll have to see how he goes. Obviously, Chesser didn't play. And then Wilmot there had the bye. Tim Taranto, 130 is captain, as I mentioned before. He's a beast this year. He's so good. Like, I can't even remember what he did last year for me, because he's amazing at the moment. Averaging a top scoring player in the game, averaging 122.5. 4 scores in a row of 120. 3 of those over 129. He hasn't gone below 110 since round 5 with that 109. It's just the 108 and 109. He's gone 110 every other game. So he's just such a safe captain option to have. And he's 1.06 million, which is ridiculous. Like, he's doing very much like what Laird was doing last year in the back half, just constantly churning out these 120s, 130s, and he's doing them while he's not really racking up a heap. Like, then again, actually, he still had 4 more marks, 5 tackles. So I'm just waiting for this game where he has like his 9, 10 tackles and like 7 or 8 marks. I'm just waiting for it to come, because it's going to come at some point. He's going to have a game where he just pops off a 170. It's only a matter of time, I think. But he's just an absolute beast. Tom Green, 115. Again, he's been very, very good as well. Like, just consistent. He got the 81 against Collingwood, tough matchup. The 90 against West Coast after they had that hot game in the start of the year. But he's essentially going over 110 every week. So again, he's as safe as they come as well at the moment. He's definitely a top 8 mid in my eyes. The Bont, 108. He was looking really good early. Slowed down a little bit late. I think he hyperextended his knee. So hopefully he's all good there. But again, he's been very, very good as well. He's only gone under 100 once since round 4. So just his consistency lately has been great. That was his first score under 110 as well since round 7. So, yeah, but 108, not that far off 110, but very, very happy with him. Lairdy, on the other hand, not as happy with him. It happened, I mentioned on the pod last night, it happened last year where Gold Coast, he dominated in the first quarter at Metricon. He gets tagged by Swallow after quarter time. Same thing happened this year. He had 12 touches in the first quarter. He only had 29 points, but he didn't have any tackles and only the 1 mark. Got tagged by Swallow for the rest of the game. And yeah, we didn't see much. But it is just the time on ground is just very frustrating of late. Like, he's like the 280s here. I thought, okay, that's good. He had the 67% against Saints here. And I thought, okay, we got injured. So that would have been nearish 80. I thought, okay, we're starting to get back to playing that around the 80%. But back-to-back games of less than 75%. It's a little bit concerning. I'm thinking maybe the Gold Coast one had a little bit more to do with the fact that it was hot weather. I know we all know that Laird doesn't like his hot weather, so hopefully he'll be fine. It's his first bad score really since round 4. He's been consistent since, and he'll be fine. He's got West Coast this week. I expect to bounce back from Lairdy, and he's still going to be a great pickup, regardless if you can fit around 14 player in. But we're probably targeting around 12 players at this point. Will Day, bit of a concern, 70. Obviously, tough match against Port Adelaide. He's still got the role, which is great, but that's now 4 of his last 5 have been under 100, and they haven't been over 90. That's the concerning thing. And if you take it at 128, he really hasn't had. He's barely made 100 in these 2 games here. 128. I'm not as sold as him being a top 6 defender as what I might have been about a month ago. He's averaging 93.6. Take it at 120. He's averaging probably close to 90. For me, that's probably a step off the top 6. Because again, if we look at the top 6 here, in terms of like average, you've got obviously Dacos will be a top 6. Have I got anyone? No, not there. But Dawson will be a top 6. Doherty will be a top 6. I think Sicily will be a top 6. That's already 4. I think Sinclair's going to be a top 6 as well. Caleb Daniels been good of late. Luke Ryan's been very solid all year. Then you've got guys like Zeeble still, even though I'm talking about training, but he's still in the mix. Obviously, Tom Stewart obviously is looking great. He's averaging, what's that? 92.1. That's including a 14 in his score. So take that away. He's averaging, what's he averaging? Total points. How many games he played? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, so he's actually averaging 100. Bang on 100. If you take away that 40, well, he's averaging just under 100. So he's averaging like 99. So for me, he's top 6. And yeah, there's just more guys, I think, in the mix than Will Day. So it's just something to note there. But Cumley Dawson averaging 110. I need him in my side. I just really do. Especially I'm a Crows supporter. Rory Atkins, 66. Saved it late. He's probably going to go for me this week. 547k, still at a good price. His break even is 78. Part of me is like, well, could I hold him? Because if he is playing after the bye, he could be really handy in these 2 weeks here. But then part of me is like, well, he's 547. Is he going to play in round 14 or not? So it just depends. At the moment, he's probably going to go, but it really depends. If I can make other moves work, I could potentially hold. But at this stage, I'll be trading. Bailey Humphrey, I will be holding. Made a nice little chunk of cash this week. Made 42k, break into 35. He's been great. Obviously, he's punching at these 60s. Hasn't gone below 66 in 5 weeks, which is great. It's really handy as like a final rookie on field that's punching at these scores, getting up to a solid price where I can actually go him to someone decent. George Wardlaw again, solid score, 62. He's got the role as well. The fact that Greenwood and Simpkin were injured as well means he's probably gonna there's no real risk of him even being dropped or anything like that. So. Yeah, he looks a really good player as well. Really tough in the contest. Tackles hard. So looking really good. Obviously, Steele and Johnson on the bye. Hopefully, Steele comes back this week and is good. What's his break even actually? His break even 125. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't go down too much. I should have got Dawson. Tim English 150. As I said, so good on debut. I was a little bit I was like not concerned really, but it was like okay, the break in 140 odd. He might drop a little bit, but I'm happy to take it on anyway. But then I thought, well, he's gone over 150 twice already this year, and he's gone over that break even. So I thought, well, I'll just bring him in. He could actually go up in price. I didn't actually expect that to happen. I didn't expect him to go 158 in his season high, but very, very happy to bring him in for his season high, if anything. So made up for really not having him, and now he's back over $1 million. So he's going to be really difficult for teams that don't have him because his break even's 130. It's not like he's going to. I don't see him putting out like a 70 at the way he's playing. Like he's played poor in the games where he got 90s and he's still punched out mid 90s. So he's looking really good. Darcy Cameron, very happy to have him. Still made a little bit of money this week, I think 8k, but break even back down to 76. He had first quarter he had 10 points, second quarter he had 50 points, third quarter he had 7 points, and then last quarter he had 40 points. Like what's that about? I don't understand. But very happy to have him in the side, and he's going to be really handy with flexibility. Melbourne this week, tough matchup. I still think he'll score okay though, and moving forward, he'll be a guy that I can leave in my forward line. If he can put out these hundreds, then is he potentially top in the mix for a top 6 forward? I don't think he's top 6 forward. I think we've already got plenty of really good forwards like your Rosies, your Gouldens, your Dunkleys, your Tarantos, your Butters that's not even in my side, the Cornelios. There's plenty of guys there. So I don't think he's going to be top 6 forward, but he's going to be very serviceable at least and be one of my luxury upgrades, I think, towards the end of the year. Connor Rosie, 121, is starting to, I was concerned, 3 weeks ago, a little bit. Well, not concerned. I just thought I'd raise the point. I'm like, well, that 133 was great there, but from round 4 to round 9, he only put up one good score. And he put up a 60, a 70, an 80, and a 90. But since then, he's gone, obviously, 2 scores of 121, then the 102 against Richmond. So he's been great. So, yeah, averaging 100 now, he's fine. He'll be top 6 forward. I'm not concerned as much as I was before. Harry Sheasel, 64. That was a bit of a concerning score. The role it does change. He goes midfield, he goes half forward, he goes back. It's all changing. That's now 4 scores of his last 5 have been under 100. I think the North Melbourne players are starting to slow down in terms of their scoring now. There's sort of not as much chipping just to the same players. So again, Sheasel breaking 117. Again, he can potentially go for me this week. Dylan Williams, 78. Pretty happy with that. Obviously, just putting out these really good scores. Another 78. Just going to make a nice bit of cash as well. Break even 48, which is good. He'll probably go at his round 15 buy, I would imagine. Probably he's 525k now. What's that? Went up 27k. Probably get to 570 maybe. That's the hope anyway. Then I can move him on to a top 6 forward, hopefully around 15, or even go down, then use that money on top of another rookie to go up. Pedler, poor score. That's now 3 scores in a row below 60. It's with the 80 there. Obviously did well, but then a 45 before that. He's probably got to go for me this week, even though he's got the West Coast matchup, which is obviously really good. But I'm just a little bit concerned with all these poor scores lately. So, yeah, he might have to go, even though he's got the West Coast matchup. But we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. Van Rooyen, very good score. Top score for the season, which is really good. Didn't expect that against Carlton, but hey, I'll take it. Good cash gen as well. Break-even's now back below 30. Made 28k. He'll be very valuable moving forward. Drury obviously didn't play. Goulden, Dunkley, and Heath were all on the buys. So, yeah, in terms of my trades this week, what am I looking at doing? It's because it's tough. This is a bit of a tough week because it's the easy buy, as we like to say. So at this stage, I'm looking at Pedler down to Harvey Harrison to make a bit of cash there. Could be Van Rooyen, even though he's got a low break even, but at the moment it's Pedler down because I'm probably not going to need his score this week anyway. Then I'm looking at going a Rory Atkins. Who do I have at the moment? I think at the moment I had a Luke Jackson coming in. And then I think I'd Zeeble up to Brayshaw. That was what I was looking at doing at the moment. But obviously, I've got to play around with the team. Got to play around with the buy structure and see what we're doing moving forward. But yeah, we'll just have to see how we go. But all in all, not the worst buy week. But could have been obviously a lot better than what it was. But I think that'll be it. I think that's pretty much all we covered. So appreciate you guys tuning in as always. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're on our way to 1,200 subscribers. I think we're about 70, just over 70 away. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do and get involved. Turn notifications on so you don't miss when I go live or upload any other content in the future. And all my social media links are in the description below. So make sure you go and follow all of those and you guys know what to do. So yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in as always. And we'll be back later on this evening for another daily news recap as well. So make sure you tune into that. So until the next video, catch you guys later. I'm out. Cheers.